So quiet as kept, there are a ton of people who bought guns with stabilizing braces on them and also have no clue that last month the ATF passed this new rule.
Well, a controversial new ATF regulation has had numerous lawsuits filed against it. Last month, the federal agency issued a new regulation that would require owners of pistol braces to register those with the federal government. This was because they deemed these pistol braces to create short-barreled rifles, which is subject to stricter regulation than other kinds of firearms. Pistol braces were designed to assist disabled gun owners stabilize themselves while shooting. Now, notably, 2 lawsuits in North Dakota and Texas are challenging the constitutionality of that new requirement.
What makes this new rule from the ATF so messed up is that the ATF has done more flip-flopping on the brace rule than a woman who you just asked what she wants to eat. You see, in 2012, the ATF said, yeah, these stabilizing braces are okay because they're designed to help disabled shooters shoot more accurately and more stable. But because other people who were also using the brace as an alternative to putting a stock on their gun, because shooting an AR pistol without a brace or a stock basically makes the thing a torture device and makes shooting less accurate and less stable, not just for disabled people, but for everyone. The ATF got in their fifis, and in 2013 they said, if you put the pistol brace to your shoulder, it magically turns the AR pistol into a short-barreled rifle, which meant that you had to register your gun under the National Firearms Act and pay a $200 tax. Then in 2015, when they realized how ridiculous it was to say that simply putting a brace to your shoulder magically turns your pistol into a short-barreled rifle, they reversed their position and said, sorry guys, we were just playing. Putting the brace to your shoulder doesn't actually turn your gun into a short-barreled rifle. But then in 2020, the ATF changed their mind again and said they were going to change the definition of a pistol brace altogether. And now in 2023, they're flat out saying, if you own a pistol brace, you have 120 days to register with the government or become a felon. And that's why you have the governor of Montana writing a letter to the DOJ saying this.
It's really a simple matter. We saw and see the continued overreach of the federal government. And in Montana, we believe in our Constitution, and in particularly the Second Amendment, it's very clear. It says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So that's why in 2021, I signed into law a piece of legislation that says if the federal government steps beyond the bounds of our U.S. Constitution and starts to infringe on our rights to keep and bear arms, law enforcement in Montana do not have to enforce those unconstitutional rules. It started with bump stocks, as you mentioned. Now we're seeing these stabilizer braces. They're intended to help our veterans or disabled handle large format pistols. And we're just not going to have it in Montana.
As the saying goes, people will only do what you let them do to you. The same applies to the government. People think the ATF has the power to make laws. They don't. The ATF is a federal law enforcement agency, and it is not authorized to make laws. Imagine if one day the police woke up and said, you know what? Driving your car with a different type of steering wheel is now illegal. The role of the ATF is to enforce existing laws related to firearms, explosives, and other regulated substance. Someone want to show me a brace law passed by Congress? You can't, because it doesn't exist. The ATF is literally making up rules and trying to enforce them as a law. I've always said the ATF is by and large a reflection of the current administration. And right now, we have the most anti-gun administration in the history of this country. So it is no surprise to me that the ATF feels so bold that they are literally changing and making up the definition of established parts in order to make an existing law cover that part, which is a de facto way of creating a law. The ATF thinks we're stupid. They think the Supreme Court is stupid. But I'm happy that the governor of Montana is calling them out on this. And I hope that the other governors will mimic this example and rein in the ATF, because at this point, they think they're the executive, legislative, and judicial branch of the government, when in reality, they're nothing more than a hallway monitor of the executive branch. You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.